Crypto's crashing. What's happening right now? In today's video, we're going to go ahead and get into what's going on in the market, breaking news that has came out, and I'll give you my reasonings why I think what's going on in the market and why I think crypto's crashing. It might not be what you think it is, but let's go ahead and get into the video. We're going to go ahead and start off here first with a post here from Nick Sortor. It says here, breaking. President Trump just signed an order raising his reciprocal tariff on Canada from 25% to 35%, effective at midnight. This comes after Canadian Prime Minister Carney tried playing games on trade. So this is basically Trump. What he did was he raised the tariffs on Canada because I guess they were playing around, playing games. They weren't being serious. And Trump is like, hey, I'm not here to play games. You guys can play games all you want, but we're just going to go ahead and raise your tariffs. That's basically what's going on. And the market is kind of acting acting upon that fear from that tariff. It's only one country, okay? I don't think the market is reacting because of that. Okay, I think it's multiple things. I think it has to do with Powell not, being so hawkish as he was yesterday, and Powell being, and interest rates not going down, even though we knew we were going to have a rate cut in July, but he was so hawkish even for September. He didn't give any hints or anything. He was just very hawkish. I think that has a little bit of part to do with it. But I just think that the market needed a correction. We were so overbought. We were very high, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all basically on almost everything. We were so stinking high that we needed a correction. And I think that people are just making the excuse that, hey, Trump just raised tariffs on Canada. Trump has made millions of, a lot of deals. I'm exaggerating, but Trump has made a lot of deals within the past couple months. So just one country, I don't think it's enough to be a cause for concern. Another thing would be that, hey, if you look at Trump's Truth Social, he actually did say that he's sending 2 nuclear submarines in responding to the the right hand man of the president of Russia, of Putin. They were both going back and forth on social media, and the second hand man of Putin threatened Trump and the U.S. with, hey, we got nuclear weapons. So Trump's like, okay, you got nuclear weapons, I'm sending 2 nuclear submarines. Let's see if your words play into account, and be careful with what you say. That's basically what happened. You guys can go to True Social and check it out, and so you guys can see what the back and forth was and what Trump actually said today. But we're not here for that. We're just here for what's going on in the market and the crypto and what I think is happening. So this is a very small part, but I just think that we needed a correction either way. It's not all doom and gloom, right? We don't have all bad news here. But if we look at this was actually on July 27th, so a couple of days old. But you can see here, breaking, Tether confirms a new U.S. domestic stablecoin is coming, okay? Specifically built for Wall Street. So this is Tether, right? USDT. They confirmed that a new U.S. domestic stablecoin is coming, specifically built for Wall Street. Okay, and let's just go ahead and get into this video. We'll just watch this for a couple seconds.
We are going to announce very soon our new initiative for a U.S. domestic stablecoin that will compete in the U.S. domestic market. So I'm very excited about that. I think will be a very highly efficient new offering for U.S. institutions.
Wow. Okay. So just a little quick video if you guys can see. So basically, they confirm a new U.S. domestic stablecoin. I guess, is it apart or separate from USDT? I do not know, but we'll figure it out, and we'll find out here soon. Another thing that's kind of bullish, so it's not all doom and gloom, right? I'm gonna put out what I find and the stuff that I kind of research on. But you can see from crypto news hunters as well, breaking, Trump just bought, and I mean, like, this did happen on July 29th, so about 2 days ago. But Trump just bought 1 million ETH, okay? 1.010 million ETH, and you can see that on World Liberty, which is what Trump owns, World Liberty Financial, and you can see that, here you go, you got that 1 million of ETH coming in there. All right, so that's another good news. You can see that A lot of big players are still buying. Yeah, we had some outflows from Bitcoin today, but a lot of big players, it's very small outflows and a lot of inflows whenever it's time to go up and move either Bitcoin, Ethereum, or the big caps, right? So you're gonna see that this is gonna happen. This is normal from the markets, and we're gonna have fear. Everybody's gonna be fearful when we're going down, and everybody's gonna be greedy when we're going up. You can see people buying at tops when it's not a place that you should be buying at. Even if we do go up, you should be buying when people are fearful, right? This is not financial advice, okay? I'm not a financial advisor. I am just a guy here sitting in my office, trying to share with you guys my experience that I had throughout many years of trading crypto. You guys should know that when there's a bull market, when everybody's fearful is when we should be bullish, right? When the market is panicking and selling, those are great times to get better positions or stock up on more of your favorite cryptos, right? That's the time that you need to be bullish and greedy, is when everybody else is fearful. And then when everybody else is bullish and greedy and crypto's taking off, you should be taking profits, right? Fearful because of that. We're going to go ahead and get into the charts so that you guys can see what's going on here, okay? So, I'm sorry if you guys hear my kid in the background. He's in the other room playing and he's kind of screaming a little bit. Sorry if that comes out on the video. Bitcoin's at $113,000 right now, okay? So we're heading down. What I believe is happening is that, look, if you look at the weekly chart, you have RSI oversold, but lower highs while Bitcoin is having higher highs. So there is a bearish divergence going on here, as you can see right here. But on top of everything, we've been oversold. Like, look how high we are in the weekly chart. If you go to a daily chart, you can see how high we really were, right? We were just staying up here the whole time, overbought levels right here. So it was about time that we needed a correction. I mean, Bitcoin went all the way from $98,000 all the way to $123,000. I think that's a great move for Bitcoin to do. All right, as you can see, we're having a small little correction here for Bitcoin. It looks like it wants to bounce to the 50, so this is a good place for it to bounce. In my opinion, I would love for it to go, stop playing games, come down to $112,000, which is the previous highs for Bitcoin. That way, if it stops here, okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and take out my tool so I can actually show you guys what I'm talking about. But if this does this and it bounces here, there's a good chance that we have a lower high here, okay? Bounce on the 21 EMA here, lower high, and then come down and bounce on this previous high. And if that happens, it's gonna take Bitcoin longer to get here and take Bitcoin longer to get to new all-time highs. So in my opinion, I would like it to go down, right? As fast as possible, come down, retest this previous resistance, which is the previous all-time highs, and create new support. That way we don't have to take too long on a correction. We don't want this going on for months. In my opinion, we don't have a lot of time left to go. So I think the quicker we can do a correction, the better it is going to be for us in the crypto market, okay? So I think we should come down to 112 or 110, right? Even 110 is okay, right? Between 112 and 110 is the level that we need to be watching. That whether it comes down here or it comes down to 110, we need to do it immediately so that we can go ahead and take this buying power all the way up to new all-time highs, okay? I think we need to get some liquidity from people that are buying. That way there's barely any liquidity in the market. Take out all the buyers' liquidity in the market. When there's no more left and there's only sellers, then we take this up to brand new all-time highs and start making new highs to $130,000, $150,000 and beyond, all right? The last thing that we want to happen is for it to be super long, especially if we're talking about from these highs all the way from here. Look how long it took. Yeah, we made new highs here, but we had a nice little deep correction as well, which in my opinion is still part of this range right here, right? So we don't want nothing taking this long, okay? Especially from here, from this high to this low. That took a pretty good while. This one as well. This one wasn't as bad though. I can see something like this happening. You know, this is not as bad as what happened back here or the time before that. But we just want this to move quicker. That's all I'm saying, is we need the corrections to move quicker, as we don't have that much time left in this bull market. And we need to start getting this thing going. Ethereum needs to start pumping. Ethereum needs to start moving. Ethereum needs to break all-time highs. And once we break all-time highs, Ethereum breaks all-time highs, I think that's when true alt season comes alive. When you see Solana and all the other big caps just start going crazy, going ham, XRP probably hitting $7 or wherever it's gonna hit this bull run, and then that money moving from those big caps to mid caps and those mid caps to small caps and meme coins just moving whatever the heck they want, just like they did last bull run. But yeah, that's true altcoin season. A lot of people keep saying we're not going to have an altcoin season like last one. Yeah, we're not. Of course we're not. We're going to have a better one. That's my opinion. I always stay positive. If things don't work out, oh well, I only invested what I can afford to lose. You guys should do the same. If you guys cannot afford to lose, or any of this downtrends that happen or corrections that happen in the market hurts you too much, that means you have too much money in the market. If you guys are counting on that to pay your bills, you guys should have too much money in the market. You should not be counting on any of the money that you invest in the crypto to be to pay your bills. You should not be counting on any of that. All the money you invest into crypto should be money that you can afford to lose. All right, so that's what I have for you guys today. I think if you look at the macro picture, guys, so the macro picture, which is the weekly chart, we'll go ahead and pull up the weekly chart, okay? And I like to do this with my students that I have for my course, just to show you guys that this isn't bad, okay? If you look at the macro chart, okay, from when the bear market bottom was, all right, so let's go like that, bear market bottom, all the way up here, none of this looks bearish. We have stayed above, since we started right here, we have stayed above the 50 EMA, never have closed below it every single time we've pulled back. Yeah, they've been long and kind of scary, but compare something like this to what we're doing now, to something like this, to something like this. This is nothing yet. On the macro scale, this is nothing. If you look up close, right, on the micro scale, then yes, it looks a little scary. It's moving fast, but look at it. Compare this to this. And compare this to this. Like, this is much scarier, okay? So that's what I'm saying. Like, there's nothing to be fearful, at least in my opinion, as of right now. We're still looking good. The 50 EMA on the weekly chart, which is the one we need to be looking at, is at $91,000. We're way far from that. If we get a close below that, then that's probably a signal of the new bear market, all right? But right now we're sitting up high really good, and I think we have a lot higher to go. I think we can probably hit anywhere between like 155 to like 196 to $200,000, which is somewhere up here. And yeah, everything is still looking good. All right, that's it for today. I hope you guys loved the video, and until next time, peace.